It's not really about who wins or loses, but do you know what really matters? I'm Mike Quackenbush, and this is Till We Make It. And if you are passionate about the craft of professional wrestling and you're never done learning all about it, then you've landed in the exact right place. Join the Till We Make It tribe. Subscribe down below and enable those notifications while you are at it. It helps me to slap the Royal Octopus hold right on that YouTube algorithm. Or if you'd like to take your patronage of the Till We Make It mission to the next level, consider joining my community over on Patreon. There are tiers there as low as $5 a month. This week, I published an exclusive video just for my patrons in which I flipped the pancake over on an experience that I had coaching at the WWE Performance Center. Today's episode is dedicated to a loyal member of the Till We Make It tribe, Jaden, who asked this great question. Why is it that some well-executed, even spectacular finishes fail to make an emotional impact on the audience? This is a great question, and of course, plenty of modern finishes do make an emotional impact on the audience that observes them, but some do not. They only garner an appreciative round of applause, and this is because while they provide spectacle, they are spectacular, they don't have any emotional resonance because the audience hasn't made an investment. They aren't buying in on an emotional level, and this is most often because the stakes are not clearly defined or the stakes haven't been chosen at all. Let me explain what I mean. 99% of the people watching professional wrestling understand that the wins and losses are predetermined, and this predetermination has nothing to do with skill, endurance, speed, strength, or any of the other factors that would affect the outcome of a real fight. And this can often be frustrating to new fans who just want their favorite character to win. And when they don't, it's the fault of the writers, or it is the fault of the corporate head who has issued a mandate that it is another character instead who gets to win the matches. Here's an example we can all readily summon to mind. There was a swath of the WWE's fan base that utterly rejected the company's initiative to make Roman Reigns the new face of the organization. Because they felt as if this decision was made simply by corporate mandate rather than a mandate from the fans, a mandate from the audience, they rejected this turn of events. In an environment where the audience is keenly aware of the mechanisms working behind the scenes, predetermined wins and losses are robbed of their stakes, and so too is one other key element of professional wrestling. In the predetermined world of pro wrestling matches, wins and losses provide virtually no compelling stakes for anyone other than a brand new viewer, and the same can be said of championship titles, because the overwhelming majority of the audience understands the movement of the championship titles is every bit as predetermined as the wins and losses are. In addition to which, pro wrestling championships have been utterly devalued over the last 25 years. Here's an example. At the time of recording this, the WWE has 206 active professional wrestlers and 20 championships for which they can vie. There is roughly one championship title for every 10 wrestlers on their roster. The value is diluted. So, for the finish of a pro wrestling match to elicit more than just simple appreciation, for it to resonate over time, or for it to deliver catharsis to the viewer, it must have clearly outlined stakes above and beyond things like wins and losses or championship titles. And when we rob the performance of those stakes, we are left with something that sounds like this. I do better moves than you, so I must win. I lift heavier weights than you, so I must win. I have a manager who sometimes cheats on my behalf, so I must win. These aren't especially gripping, are they? They don't compel us to want to see the outcome of the match. They're utterly lackluster. But what about these examples? My father always taught me that a man stands up to bullies, and it's time I became that man. It's time I stand up to you. If I don't win this match, my mask will be removed before the entire world and my identity revealed. If I don't win this match, I'll surrender my mask to you. You insulted my wife and mocked my sobriety. You called me a failure and you slander the things that make me who I am. And I am going to prove you wrong. So in each of these examples, whether the stakes are professional stakes or personal stakes, it is crystal clear what's at risk in the match. And when the stakes are outlined in this way to the audience, the outcome of the match takes on a much deeper meaning. The finish to a pro wrestling match can be just cool moves, pretty moves, dangerous moves. But unless the stakes are clearly outlined, the finish will rarely amount to anything other than a pile of those moves. For a finish to feel climactic and to be memorable to the audience, they have to understand what's at risk for the characters involved. And if they care about those characters and they understand the stakes, they will make that emotional investment. When all those cool moves, the how they battle, are combined with the stakes, the what they're fighting for, then you have the recipe for a really hot finish, which will transcend any tap out or any 3 count in the mind of the viewer. So remember, a pro wrestling match is more than just the repetition of all the moves you've been working on lately at practice. It must also tell a great story to the audience if you want them to truly care. And if you can think of a match that told a great story like that and was coupled with great moves, I want you to leave it down below in the comments. Let me know about a match that moved you in that way. Want to explore another intersection of these same overarching ideas? Then click on the video appearing up here. It's about your strike radius inside the squared circle and the building of dramatic tension. Or if you want to build better matches end to end, crack open my toolbox, Building Better Pro Wrestling, available as an ebook or in print form from Amazon or over on audible.com, where I read you the audiobook myself.